the young, beautiful Laken Riley, the innocent nursing student at University of Georgia, being killed by the illegal who with a rap sheet, with a record. And now we just learned today the latest news that this guy, this thug, this creep, disfigured her so bad. He beat her so badly with a blunt force object that it actually disfigured her skull. You know, again, in Biden's America, I'm going to do this. This is on them. These are the people who are letting the hundreds, millions of illegals come across the border, and then they're letting them go do what the hell they want. They don't follow them. They don't tell them to show up for court until years down the road, and they don't throw them out after this guy has at least 2 other crimes under his belt since he's been here.
Mm-hmm. They haven't had a murder on this campus in 30 years. What changed? You know what changed? The president
Joe Biden.
And the border policies.
Yep.
This guy came in under Biden. He committed this murder under Biden because we have an open border and nobody's enforcing the laws against people like this. And now what do you get from this White House in response? I'll read you. I pulled the statement because you have to hear the actual words. White House spokesperson. We would like to extend our deepest condolences to the family and loved ones of Laken Hope Riley. People should be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law if they are convicted. The generic people should be held accountable. And then they say, well, it's a state prosecution, so we shouldn't say more. Really? On this case, you decide to hold your tongue? Tell it to Kyle Rittenhouse and all the others who you've prematurely condemned before the evidence was in. Because why? I mean, Kyle happened when he was running for president, but he was quick to call him a white supremacist. This is a minor. Why? Because he was white? Because he wasn't the right skin color and on the right side of the right cause for Joe Biden? Now he's got to not say anything. Okay. He weighs in on every case except for this one.
And he had the big, remember the George Floyd thing? It was a well-produced video with music and a piano in the background. It was so heartfelt. And this is very
Jacob
cold.
Blake.
Also, Megyn, just you're a journalist. AP went with women running alone and never mentioned that Laken Riley was killed by an illegal. Never mentioned the fact that he was an illegal migrant here. And then the New York Times didn't mention the illegal part of his character until the 37th paragraph. The media is covering for this horrendous border policy from Biden.
They're doing their level best, but they see the truth. It's too late for that. Those tactics were yesterday's. They don't work anymore. Thanks to Governor Abbott and other southern state governors, DeSantis is another, shipping these migrants everywhere. Now we're all living this nightmare. This is why Mayor Adams of New York City went from saying not long ago, we're a sanctuary city, it'll never change, period, to we have to stop the sanctuary city policies. People are getting hurt. They're starting to feel it firsthand. It doesn't matter what the New York Times leaves out. The story is ubiquitous. And if Republicans were smart, they would make sure that this stays, at least in the right-wing media, all the way through November, because how else do you affect change? If we don't, we're going to get more
It's not hard,
Laken Rileys.
It's not hard. Every day there's another, I just saw another illegal raped a 14-year-old girl. It's breaking today. Again, another guy who wasn't supposed to be here, who was let out into the streets of a city near you, raped a 14-year-old little girl. Megyn, I got to go. Appreciate your time. You're always spot on. Folks, if you don't watch Megyn's show, you have to watch it. She's amazing. Thank you, Megyn.
Thank you, my friend. Good to see you.